We start off episode 7 with party preparations going on in the shack. While Grunkle Squidward, aka Party Pooper Pines, asks the twins to go and copy some flyers that he wants to hand out to the people of Gravity Falls so they know that the party is going on. And it shouldn't come as a surprise, but Party Pooper Pines drops the line, "I'll smother 'em with fun," which sounds absolutely horrible in the context of a party targeted towards kids and teenagers. And of course, you wouldn't be Grunkle Stan if you wouldn't mark the party as free, but with a caveat of a little question mark in the end, which of course means you have to pay a fee of some kind. In this case, Mr. Krabs' twin brother came up with the idea to put up a fee to get out of the party and into the party. So I don't really know where the free came from. After that, he tells the twins that they don't need to go to the copier store, but that he fixed up the old copier in his office, and he says that it's good as new, which of course, as you can see, is a stretch to say the least. And standard procedure as always, we're looking at the background decoration, and in this scene we can see the little employee of the month picture hanging in the background, and of course, who would have guessed the employee of the month is of course Zeus. And we can also see a safe standing in the background, which has more significance in the later episodes, more specifically in the last few episodes of the season, so you'll see that again as soon as we get to those. You know the drill. Okay, maybe I'm confused about how printers work, or this is one of the super old printers where you put gasoline into it to get it going from the industrial ages. I don't know, but I don't see a reason for the printer to spit out a lot of dust or smoke after starting it up. But hey, you can enlighten me in the comments if you have any idea where that smoke would be coming from, except from components of the printer just giving up on life. Huh, I suppose Thing found a new part-time job. And for this intro portion of the episode, we get the good old foreshadowing back. This time we can see that the drink is spilled on the printed body part and it just dissolves into a puddle, which I'm going to come back to throughout the episode because there are a few scenes where this concept of dissolving the prints with liquids comes up again. Okay, I suppose the lighting department decided to put some more emphasis on how dramatic this revelation is. And of course, Mabel being Mabel, she absolutely reads the room and decides to spray Dipper with some silly string, which, by the way, the string isn't coming out of the nozzle of the can. You can see it coming out a few centimeters below the actual nozzle, so a little animation error there. Wow, Wendy could actually rival Picasso. After persuading Grunkle Stan to give him the task of working the ticket booth, because Wendy is also working at the ticket booth, Dipper stands in front of the mirror to freshen up a bit. We get a few instances of the mirrored image being a little bit inconsistent. So first of all, we have him standing in the mirror with the skull in the box being on the right side of the mirror and the little cabinet whack-a-mole thingamajig on the left side of the mirror. But as soon as Mabel steps into the frame, we still have the whack-a-mole cabinet on the left side, but the cloth is pulled over it a bit more than before, and the skull in the box is actually in the middle of the mirror. So apparently the mirror picture got a bit broader for some reason. Then we get another more drastic switch. In the background you can see that the skull in the box is now on the left side of the mirror, and you can't really see the whack-a-mole cabinet at all. And when Dipper looks back into the mirror, the whack-a-mole cabinet is slightly visible on the left. You can't see the skull, but you can see the box with the eyeballs on the right more clearly now. And even in the zoom out where the whole room is visible, the mirror shows a different reflection, with the skull being on the left side of the mirror once again. Okay, besides the whole mirrored switcheroo, one pretty obvious thing for the start of this episode is that Mabel is actually wearing probably one of the least colorful sweaters she has ever worn throughout the show till this point. which is jarring because of the fact that she wore a purple sweater with a sparkling cat on it in the first episode. So this black sweater with the yellow lightning on it is a pretty far departure from that. And of course we're getting back to a reoccurring theme by now. Dipper completely overthinking the simplest of tasks. This time, instead of just talking to Wendy, he decided to make a list of how he should behave, what kinds of topic he should talk about, how he should dress, etc., etc. He also goes down the list in front of Mabel, saying that step 1 is getting to know each other with a bit of playful banter, but later in the scene you can see the first step, and it doesn't say that at all, it just says smile. So, another small continuity error right there. Oh, and also, the second step is wear clean pants. And frankly, if you have to write down that you have to wear clean pants, maybe you should consider how you got to that point. Dipper explains that the final step is supposed to be dancing with Wendy, but we can, again, see the bottom of the list later on, and it doesn't say dancing at all. It says, I think, pretty hard to read, do not display Monster Man knowledge. Not sure about it, but something in that wake. Oh, and going off of that, the second to last step actually says display Monster Man knowledge, and then the last step contradicts that. Apparently Dipper is also able to highlight anything he wrote whenever he wants, because step 9 is clearly more highlighted than every other step on the list he's showing here. So I don't know, maybe it's some more Gravity Falls magic. While the party is in full swing and Mabel is busting some moves, there's 2 kids in the background smiling at her. And I'm pretty sure that the kid on the left is the same kid that she tried to convince to go out with her in the first episode. This iguana on her shoulder, that seems to be a pretty character-defining thing, you know, having this pet iguana with you all the time. So I think this will be a reoccurring character. Psych! It's not going to be. It's basically a one-time thing. We will never really see the iguana again from here on out. The reason why they brought it in here, still a mystery to me. Mystery, got it? That's the name of the show. Yeah. While Mabel is talking to Granda and Candy, we get a weird stare from the latter. Her eyes are going a bit, you know, sideways. I don't know. Her one eye is basically looking right at the camera, and the other eye is kind of looking at Mabel, I guess. A bit creepy, not gonna lie. Oh, and a bit of a fun fact. The voice actress for Candy is actually the same voice actress for BMO from Adventure Time. Ah, cool, we got some more reoccurring characters. This time it's Pacifica Northwest, the blonde girl with the glasses, and her 2 friends. Psych again! The friends aren't going to be there for much longer. Basically one of the last episodes where we'll ever see them. Not prominent characters at all. Okay, now we get to the more interesting stuff. The copier. And Dipper is trying to, as you probably could have guessed from the intro, copy himself. But I have a bit of a question. Maybe I have a wrong understanding about copiers. But he's pressing copy. And for some reason you can see the green line going over his face. Which I'm pretty sure that's not how a copier works. The line should be only getting his back and not any of his face or anything else. So I don't know why you're able to see the line going over his body. And for some reason the copier copies everything, like the cap, the jacket, and everything else, but it leaves out the symbol on the cap, the pine. It's only visible on the original Dipper's cap, and also the bow tie. That one's not copied as well. Of course, the reason for not copying it show-wise is to display who's the real Dipper and who are the clones, but logically it seems a bit odd. It of course also magically copied the whole plan he had written down, tucked away in the pocket of his jacket. However, that will work. And now is one of those moments where we get back to the fact that these copies should dissolve when liquid touches them. So here's a little bit of a thing where I'm open to discussion in the comments also. Because my reasoning would be, he's writing with a marker on their head. And as far as I know, there's definitely water or liquid in general in these markers. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to write if it's not a pencil. And I don't really get why the dippers aren't dissolving when they are writing with a marker on themselves. One of the most important aspects about Gravity Falls is, of course, not left out in this episode. That is the foreshadowing. In this case, Dipper foreshadows the clones turning on him out of jealousy. Oh great, Robbie's back. So let's talk about him. I don't know who does this stuff, but apparently he decided to park his bike inside of the building instead of just parking it outside. It's in the middle of nowhere. Who the heck would steal a bike there? And of course this Dorito-headed Snape lookalike dingus decides to flex with his new guitar and shows Wendy how cool it is when he plays it. The problem is, the idiot forgot to pack an amp. Of course, in Gravity Falls, that's not a problem, because for some reason the guitar just emits the perfect sound. But if we take reality into consideration, it should sound a little more like this. Now we also see that the printer doesn't only copy some pieces of paper, no, it copies a whole damn phone. This thing would be a money printing machine. No pun intended. Of course, it would only be good for printing phones if the phones don't dissolve when you spill anything liquidy on it. So maybe it's not that great of an idea. Oh man, this poor dude looks like he's in absolute agony. They also smoothly move around the problem of copyright by, instead of using the song Don't Stop Believing, they use the song Don't Start Unbelieving. Big brain. Oh, and what do I spy with my little eye? I think that's another inconsistency, because that microphone was wireless before, when Pacifica picked it up, and now it has a wire. And no, of course, the possibility of this being a different mic is completely ruled out. Huh, I guess there were some people there who wanted to steal his bike. Dipper also took the prospect of having a wingman to a whole different level. Why have one wingman when you can have 10 wingmen? Aha! Actual consistency! In the background there you can see the little hangout place on the roof that Wendy built herself. Yo, this guy is absolutely dominating the dance floor. Ooh, and some smooth moves from Stretch. Oh, and some more background decor detailing. The rhino on the left side in the background behind Stretch. That thing should have had a party hat on it, which Seuss put up in the beginning of the episode. But as you can see, it doesn't. After we get the reveal that Dipper gets his nickname from the fact that he has the Big Dipper star constellation as a birthmark on his forehead, by the way, his real name is Mason, we see Pacifica leaving the bathroom in the background. And she did definitely not have a relaxing bathroom break. I think I've never seen someone coming out of a toilet looking this tense. Love goes out to all of Dipper's fingernails, because those things are definitely gone now. Now we get another scene that has me questioning how this whole liquid dissolving thing works. Because one of the clone Dippers wants to feed Paper Jam Dipper a bit of crackers and cheese, but I'm pretty sure that cheese contains some kind of moisture, so this doesn't seem like the best of ideas. While Dipper is trying to talk out his way of this clone fiasco, I wanted to touch on a fan theory I heard about that states that the Dipper after this episode isn't the real Dipper. That he basically was replaced by a clone because, for example, the two clones on the bike are just riding into the sunset and they aren't getting destroyed. Hey ho, editing Niceless here with a short addition. I already mentioned that I have a physical copy of the journal number 3, and I looked into it, and there's actually some additional info about the 2 Dipper copies, Dipper number 3 and Dipper number 4, the 2 that stole the bike from Robbie. Dipper number 3 is actually named Tracy, and Dipper number 4 is named Quadro. I know, very imaginative. And they actually came back to the shack and saw what happened to the other Dipper copies, which we'll see in a second, and decided to hide in a closet and follow Plan C, which consists of them getting rid of Dipper Classic by locking him inside the closet and giving him food and stuff so he doesn't starve, thus taking over his life and dating Wendy. And they actually made a little clone schedule for both of them, how their weeks are structured. And of course, they crossed out all the showers because, again, liquids, they would dissolve. And they left a little note for the eating portions of the schedule, which says no liquids. Same reason. And we also get a follow-up to the episode, which mentions Dipper coming back from the party, seeing both of them, and he has a pit cola in his hand. They freak out because they think he wants to dissolve them. They run out into the forest, and he mentions that he's a little bit worried because it's going to rain the day after that. But he also writes down that he danced with Wendy, which shows that there's a good side to everything. And thus concludes my edition. On with the video. But frankly, I don't really subscribe to that, because in the end, Dipper is actually the only one that can normally drink soda without a problem. We'll get to that point. And he doesn't dissolve. So at some point, this would have been obvious that the true Dipper is still the one that's present throughout the rest of the series. F's in the chat for Paper Jam Dipper, the true hero of the story. Yikes, Mabel's got some strength to her. She's just hopping around on her forearms. Holy crap. Oh, by the way, the Robbie Key fiasco from the Inconveniencing episode apparently still continues because his keys are swapping sides all over again. What the heck is McGucket doing at a party for kids and teenagers? Seems a bit out of place. When Pacifica receives the crown for winning the party contest, she says, "Thank you, Jorge." And I think she's saying thank you to Zeus, but his name is Jesus. So I don't really know what to make of this whole scene. Either Pacifica is just ignorant and doesn't give a damn and just says a random male Spanish name, or maybe the voice actress misread the name of him. I don't know. So now we're ending this story for Dipper with a deep talk between him and Tyrone, aka Dipper 2, where we actually get the confirmation that we talked about in the Inconveniencing about how old Wendy actually is, and she's actually 15. So now we reached the end of this episode, with Mabel actually getting her first friends in Gravity Falls, Brenda and Candy, and Dipper learning a valuable lesson again, that you should always just try to be yourself and don't try to overcomplicate things too much. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Mysteries of Gravity Falls. This is a bit of a longer one compared to the others, but I hope that's okay with you. And to keep it short and simple, I hope to see you in the next episode. Until then, see ya!